What's up, everybody? Again, here taking take 2. So much for uncut. Yayos. We're going. I guess we're freestyling this, and and I guess when you speak from the heart, it comes out best. And so, here we're gonna continue. Before I continue, give a couple more shout outs. Shout out to Nadine Maslam, who's a Lebanese journalist who I supported against the Belamonte Dam construction in Brazil, which actually stopped. And I am a warrior of Chief Raoni, so I'm all over the place. You know what I mean? And my actions and deeds is what gives me my magic. All this stuff is just objects. Also, I wanna give a shout out to my father. Happy birthday today! It's his fucking birthday, so happy birthday. And it's not that I don't care if I didn't mention it the first time around. It's just my nature, and I don't mean to hurt people, even if I do sometimes. And he wouldn't mind, but just an example for you guys, you know what I mean? Not always to judge a book by its cover. I guess to continue, last time I was talking about the foods, but I'll touch that a little bit later on. I guess right now I want to talk about, again, the message to the lightworkers out there. I was at a point where, I could have compromised and sold out, and I mentioned that earlier, and I could have had, book contracts and, even with the MLMs that I was surrounded, and these opportunities or this residual income that was available, and I couldn't do it because I would have betrayed all of you and myself and something that wasn't in my life path. But like I said earlier, we have our own soul contracts. Now, with that said, I see the hypocrisy, I see the bullshit, and that's why I fell back into eating the meats and drinking, not heavily, smoking in moderation, but I attracted certain entities, so to speak. And in this journey, I have a brother named Glenn Stewart, who's actually a descendant of Sir Robert de Bruce, going back to I guess the Scottish ancestors, got the William Wallace sword and the English scarf, making peace, you know what I'm saying? And here we got the white hockey tape to, because certain stories are manipulated, especially in Hollywood. You don't always get the whole truth. And, even Mel Gibson has his own views. You may want to Google that. So when I was going through this process, I was trying to, get the attention of the people, I guess deliver my message, but no one really wanted to hear. And my buddy Glenn, he lent me a camera that's on the bed, and thank you so much for believing. And I just kept on going, and he mentioned to me, that my nature was that of a spiritual Hioka clown, which is, part of the Lakotas and some native stuff. And, because I was eating the meats, I was allowing certain entities of, of the ancestors, like Black Elk, even Wovoka, Jack Wilson, the Ghost Dance, and to push out and to keep delivering my message. Now again, it's not what you say, it's what you do. My elder said, walk your talk, Justin. You can speak till the cows come home, but if you don't do, or if you don't prove what you are, or through your actions, it means nothing. Now that's why even a couple years ago when I did the G20 protest, I stood up in front of 200 cops with guns and tear gases, and I did my thing for 10 minutes, my demonstration with my Canada cape, and just being with my boombox, and I did my thing. And somewhere out there, someone recorded that, and eventually, hopefully, it'll pop up on YouTube, and I personally would like to see that. So after that, I just kept on reaching out to the native community, keep on reaching out, and then after, I was still showing up to the Lightworkers gatherings, to kind of share my message, but people are too stuck in their ways. And, I don't blame you, because I had to go through it myself. And, just be careful, take heed to what I'm saying, I'm not trying to, squash your dreams, but I'm just trying to let you know that, there's evil forces that, we're not always able to see, because the matrix, there's matrices over matrices over matrices over matrices, and the demons are heavy. That's why I have this vision, and I paid a great price for it. I guess what else I wanted to say is, like, I guess the more I went out and supported people, and reaching out and sharing my stories with the Native community on the Facebook, this gave me more credibility to reach out to my elder, the keeper of the white buffalo headdress, who I went with credit. I had no money at the time because I worked for 3 years without pay. I did the interlocking, but that was seasonal stuff and didn't really make that much money. So when I went there, through her, I guess 13 blessing, because the word blessing is actually a curse word. It's associated with blood sacrifice on top of an altar or a pagan altar. And the etymology of the English language is it's a double-edged sword. It has like double meaning. So you may want to look into that. And Yaffa Bey, that we mentioned earlier, she's on the ball with that. And I would I guess going back to walking the talk, I would, and during the Occupy, I did the whole Chief Araoni walk and march with the elders from Maine, and I spoke with the chief elder, and sometimes the elders they're stuck in their ways, even like my parents, just being Catholic, they're stuck in their ways, and you can't really convince them, but show them respect. And I pulled out the sacred tobacco, which personally, like, this stuff kills me. I can't smoke it anymore. But I'll still honor the tradition. And he taught me talking about Turtle Island and certain issues within the Native communities and cultures. And I told him I understand, I get it, I understand, and I overstand the situations. And we're going through a lot of pain, and there's been these brinks, so to speak. And like, for example, like, I guess where it started is with my own. Like my mom being from I guess from Ecuador and Cuenca, my father too. They're from a region where this tribe called the Cañaris used to live, or still descendants still are. And then after, like, they're more of a peaceful tribe, and they're beefing back in the day with the Inca tribes. And the last sovereign king or emperor was Atahualpa. And I resonate with both these I guess these stories and different characters, so to speak. And right now in the tribes, and not just the tribes, but in all like the nations and the clans, there's all these brinks of, your ancestor did this, your grandfather killed my grandfather, and it just goes on and on and on. And, there's a lot of pain, and people are just trying to express it as best they can to bring this change. Now, I can't just go into some tribe and say, this is the new way. You have to show respect, and there's native manners, and this is what I learned from my elder. And I just kept on going, and there was a national assembly of what's it called? The Assembly of the First Nations, where they they voted for their for their, I guess, their chief of Canada, which happened recently. I ended up going, brought my sacred tobacco. I missed the elders, but I was still able to speak for a chief from Manitoba, and we spoke about just the stranglehold with money and the corporations, and the corporations need healing. And going back to Nadine, my theme was heal the corporations, heal the Amazons, and everything is reciprocal to each other. And the more I went out, the more like I was walking my talk, the more I was able to to have that power, to have that strength. And and going along with what I was doing, I was honoring the buffalo because of my, because my family, they brought me back to Ecuador. They took me to the mountains where they were raised, and they showed me. And even here, we've killed chickens, and even different delicacies. We've done it here, and that's why I'm able to resonate with it and understand the love behind it. But there's also, I guess, dark entities that take place that we're not able to see, especially when you are a meat eater, because you lower yourself to a certain frequency. Now, my elder told me that I had to unite not just the native elders, but the elders of the world. And me and my girlfriend Shakti, Danie, we went to see Amma when she came into town, and I'm not. People think I'm dim or even stupid or retarded, but there's a way of my being, and because like I'm an in and out guy, you know what I mean. And we went to a thing or a ceremony called the Darshan, And we went and we observed and we saw